those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Hank Mathis, and I'm a junior at River Bluff High School. I'm a member of the Center for Media Arts in the sound recording branch. I'd like to continue my study of recording and production at the University of Western Carolina in Cullowhee, North Carolina. As a high school student, I found that it's pretty easy to be distracted by material things, like sports, parties, schoolwork, and I've also seen how quickly people can change just to be able to fit in with a certain crowd. People can actually change their way of life just to be accepted in society, or accepted by a certain group. There are many sources we seek approval from, but our greatest desire should be that God approves of our actions, attitudes, and words. Romans 12, verse 2 says, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. For then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." It's easy to skip church or Bible study for things that come up, like parties or even just hanging with friends. You say to yourself, it's no big deal, I'll be there next week. But then next week can easily turn into several weeks, and before you know it, it becomes a regular thing. You've set your mind on worldly things instead of asking yourself that underlying question: whose approval am I living for? Galatians 1:10 says, "For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ." How are we able to serve the Lord if our focus is pleasing man and fitting into society? Our lives should not be consumed by our desires to conform, but rather we should live our lives for the purpose of glorifying God. We are made in God's image, being fearfully and wonderfully made. How are we able to carry out his will if we aren't even seeking his approval? Let me ask another question. Why are you here? Are you at church for the sole purpose of praising God? Or are you here so that people see you here, or maybe just for the social aspect of it? Matthew 6:1 says, "Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven." I think that this is an issue that occurs more often than some of us would like to admit. And it's not something we particularly want to think about, especially if we know that it applies to us. It is, however, important that we ask ourselves this question often. So now, going into the future, make sure to ask yourself, what is the real reason you are at church? And also ask yourself if you are living for the approval of God, or if you are still trying to be accepted by society. Let's pray again.